In the third video of the series, we talked about how route handlers help us define behavior that should run when an HTTP request has a particular shape. For example, a certain HTTP method or being directed to a certain route. But what if we want some logic that runs on every HTTP request that is sent to our server? That is where middlewares come in. Middlewares are a piece of code that can run before and after each request is processed, and they run on all requests in a nested order. They're a super powerful way for us to execute common functionality on each request. For example, logging some information whenever a request is received or a response is processed. ASP.NET Core comes with a collection of middlewares built in. As a matter of fact, that logic that we talked about that understands how to direct HTTP requests with a given shape to the appropriate handlers is actually implemented as a middleware called the Endpoint Routing Middleware. There's all sorts of other middlewares that come built in with ASP.NET Core. For example, there's ones that help you host static files on your application server. Now, in addition to the built-in middlewares that come with ASP.NET Core, you can write your own middlewares, which unlocks a whole world of possibilities because anything that you want to write as common functionality in your application can be implemented using these middleware APIs. We're going to play around with these APIs in two ways. We're going to use a built-in middleware to support rewriting URLs that are sent in the request to our HTTP server, and then we're going to define our own middleware to do some simple logging whenever requests are received and responses are processed. Let's go back to the code that we were taking a look at earlier. We'll see that we have this web application object, which I mentioned earlier represents our application pipeline. It conveniently provides us with methods that we can use to register middlewares that can participate in this application pipeline. I mentioned earlier that middlewares run in nested order, and that's because they execute as part of this pipeline. So the first built-in middleware that I want to take advantage of is the URL Rewrite Middleware. It'll take a look at the URL that is present at incoming requests, compare it with a string that I will provide, and then rewrite it to a different string if it matches the given pattern. It's a great way of redirecting requests from one route to another without having to actually define handlers to support both routes. For my particular scenario, my API responds to the requests that are sent to requests on the to-dos path. I want to add some functionality though, so that if somebody tries to send a request to the tasks path to retrieve a to-do by their ID, they'll get redirected to the to-dos path. And to do that, I'm going to go ahead and use the URL Rewriter Middleware. So let's go ahead and invoke it. One of the things that you'll see is we're taking advantage of the useRewriter method on our web application. Earlier, we discussed about the fact that the web application object represents the application pipeline. Middlewares are entities that participate in the application pipeline. They are usually registered with the use keyword, which indicates that I want to register a middleware onto the pipeline. I want it to participate in the flow of things that are executed whenever a request is processed. Now, in addition to the method that is actually used to register the middleware, which is called useRewriter for my URL Rewriter middleware, there's also going to be options that modify the behavior of my middleware. Most middlewares in ASP.NET Core come with some sort of options for modifying their behavior. Here, our rewrite option says that whenever I get a request that is sent to the tasks route with some sort of property or information after it, I want to redirect it to to-dos and capture whatever arguments were sent following that tasks/prefix. Now, what this effectively does is it says if anybody sends a request to tasks/1 or tasks/2, they're going to be redirected to to-dos/1, to-dos/2. The neat thing here is that the URL Rewriter middleware takes care of capturing important information in my route and relaying it in the rewrite. So let's go ahead and test this in the same way that we have tested things in the fourth video of this series. We're going to run our application, and we're going to head over to our HTTP file. and we are going to send a request. This time though, instead of being sent to the to-dos route, we're going to send it to the tasks route. So we'll go ahead, HTTP, localhost, my port number, tasks, not to-dos. We'll go ahead and say ID 1. Now we can send the request, but as you'll recall from the third video in this series, the list of to-do items that is stored in our application is stored in memory. That means every time I stop my server, that list is cleared away. So our list is presently empty. What I'll want to do is populate it with new items. So I'm going to scroll back to the request that I used earlier, change this back to ID 1, and we'll issue a post request to the to-dos endpoint again. We'll send that request over, and we'll see that we get 201 created. Great. Now we can head over to the request for tasks, send that, and we get what we expect. We have our to-do returned to us, and that is because behind the scenes, the URL rewriter middleware executed when a request came in. It examined the request, replaced the URL that was encompassed in that request to one that contained the string to-dos instead of tasks. And then later, when our routing middleware attempted to map our request to the appropriate handler, it saw the string to-dos one and used it to map to the appropriate handler, which means that we get the expected behavior, which is 200 OK because we were redirected to the appropriate handler. Not 404 not found because the tasks route did not exist as a supported handler in our application. So that's pretty neat. We're able to use built-in middleware to add some cool functionality to our application. But I want to get a little bit creative and actually write my own middleware. We'll do that next. Stop our running application and head back to our code and talk a little bit about what it means to write custom middleware in ASP.NET Core. Now, the middleware I want to write is going to be a middleware to support logging for our application. I want to log some information as requests are coming in and coming out. There are robust solutions for logging in actual ASP.NET Core applications, but this will just showcase how we can write our own custom middleware. So let's go ahead and write out our custom middleware. We'll observe a couple of things from the code here. The first is that we're using that use verb to indicate that we want to register some middleware into our application pipeline. The argument that's provided to this use method is an inline function that takes two parameters. One of them is the HTTP context, and the other is the request delegate. What do these mean? Well, simply put, the HTTP context is a type in ASP.NET Core that represents the current HTTP request and response that is being processed. When we try to understand the HTTP method, URL, and request body that are associated with an incoming request, those are available to us in the HTTP context. Similarly, if a response has been written in response to that request, those will be available in the HTTP context. What does that second parameter, next, mean? Well, middlewares run in a pipeline. After the first middleware in the pipeline runs, it's meant to invoke the next middleware in the pipeline as part of its functionality. It's basically a way of saying, I've run my logic, now you run. This is what results in the nested invocation pattern of middlewares. My middleware here has a rather simple implementation that makes use of the properties that are available on the HTTP context and calls the next method in order to invoke other middlewares in the pipeline. So what I'm doing is I am logging the method that is associated with my request, the path that is associated with my request, the current time when my request was received, and a message that says started. Then I call the next middleware in my pipeline by using the next parameter that was provided as an input. On the outbound, after all of those middlewares have run, I'm going to come back into my context or my middleware and I print out the same information, the method, the path, the time, and indicate that it's finished. So there you have it. One thing that is important to note is that because these execute in order, my middleware will run after the rewriter middleware. One thing to note is that because middlewares run in this ordered and nested fashion, my custom middleware will run after the URL rewriter middleware. And we'll see how that behavior manifests when we try our application. We're going to go ahead and run it again. And we're going to head back to our HTTP file and send a request. We'll get started with this post request to create a new to-do. All right, we see that we get the 201 created response back, and I want to draw your attention to some information that was printed in the console right here. We can see that we have the HTTP method, the path that was associated with our application, and the current time, including the string started, which we expect to see. And then on the outbound, we can see the HTTP method, the path, time, and when the request finished processing. Cool. So our custom middleware is running in the pipeline as we expect. And one thing I want to showcase is we can head over to this get request on the tasks route by ID. Go ahead and send it. And we'll see something interesting. Remember how I mentioned that because my custom middleware was registered after the URL rewrite middleware, it'll run after it? We can see the effects of that here. Notice how the path associated with my request is /todos/1. This is the path or the URL that is resulting after the URL rewriter middleware executed. If my custom middleware was registered before my URL rewriter middleware, the path that I would see here would be /tasks/1 because my middleware ran before the URL rewriter had the chance to modify the path in the HTTP request. So this is an example of how middleware ordering manifests in applications. Pretty neat. We were able to use a built-in middleware and a custom middleware to enhance the functionality of our application. We want to highlight here that middlewares run on every request. It doesn't matter whether it's a GET request to a particular path, your middleware will always run. To implement the logic to no op on requests of a given shape, your middleware needs to support that logic itself. So that's pretty neat. Middlewares provide a nice API for executing common functionality on all requests to our application. In the next video in this series, we'll build on this concept of running common functionality on every request and talk about endpoint filters.